So before you start the actual measurement of hip internal rotation, you would have the patient actually sitting at the edge of the plinth. You would have the landmarks exposed that you will be measuring off of. I'm also going to place a towel underneath Kelsey's right leg here so that you have her femur lined up at 90 degrees. You want to make sure that she's actually facing straight forward, that there's no actual abduction or adduction at the hip. So before I even use the goni, I just wanted to make clear what we're talking about. This is the stationary arm. This will remain stationary. This is the axis. This is the point from which I will be moving the movable arm of the goni. So I line that up as so. Okay, so as a therapist, you want to make sure that you have good body mechanics. I'm coming down to the level of the surface that I'm going to be measuring from. In this position, and actually in this case, I'm actually going to raise the bed up a little bit to get more at the level of the patella. So that'll be right about here. So we'll be positioning the axis on the anterior surface of the patella. The stationary arm will be perpendicular to the floor, and I'm actually going to point it between the malleoli, the lateral and medial malleoli. And the movable arm will actually move with Kelsey's leg, as so.
You should be aware that if your patient lacks hip internal rotation, they will try to compensate by leaning their trunk, by tilting their pelvis and raising their hip, or attempting to raise their knee.
So we've just looked at the positioning of the goniometer. Before I actually even take a measurement, I want to make sure that Kelsey can move through the internal and external range of the hip motion. So I will actually make sure that we can move in this direction before we can go in the internal rotation. This will provide a more accurate measurement. You want to make sure that you're zeroed out with the goni. My hand will be placed here at the distal femur, and I will show her the range this way. This hand here is to prevent any excessive abduction or adduction or flexion at the hip as we're taking her through this range of motion. Another position that you might want to put the patient in to measure hip internal rotation is in prone, as Kelsey's demonstrating. You would just have the patient bring their leg up to a 90-degree angle like this. You're taking the measurement from here, and then show your patient the direction that you want to move them. You can do this as long as there's not tightness at the rectus femoris.
And you would use the same goni landmarks that you did today.
So we're going to differentiate those. Do you have any questions? No? Okay, so now Becky, we're actually going to do the test. If you wouldn't mind sitting at the edge of the mat here. Okay. So I see that you have really good sitting balance. I also wanted to ask, do you have any major issues with your lower back, your knee, or your hip? Any pain or anything? Yeah. Okay. All right, so we will go ahead and start the test. So what I'm going to be doing is lowering you down onto your back. And what I want you to do is hug your knees nice and closely to your chest, okay? So I'll be supporting you on the way down. All right, so go ahead. Okay, great. Now what I want you to do is hold on to this leg, and I want you to keep it in that position. And make sure that you keep your lower back nice and flat on the mat here, okay? So go ahead and hold on to that one. You want to keep it nice and bent, okay? Yep. So I'm going to help you lower your leg down here. Okay, so that's as far as we can go. And I do see that you do have an angle here at your hip, which indicates some hip flexor tightness, okay? Now we're going to do this test again. So I'm going to bring your leg back up. And now I'll be differentiating between those two muscles. So again, I want you to hold on nice and tight there. All right, and this time I'm going to straighten your knee. And lower down. Just relax here. Good. Okay, so you are flush to the table here, which indicates that you have good length of your iliopsoas muscle. However, your rectus femoris is tight. And we can confirm these results just by bending the knee here. And we see that it does bring that angle back at the hip. Alright, so now, go ahead and hold on here. I'm going to support you back up into sitting, okay? Okay. Alright.